Best friend for 23. She left her body and hovered above me. I saw no shadow. I looked around, searched every building and home that I found. I saw no shadow, but felt a glow. The warmth inside me, it kept me afloat. It felt like heaven had found my bones and gave me comfort when I feel alone. Now you're gone, I'm alone. I guess it's time to get better. Through the pain, I will go alone. If I fall, break my bones, I will scream even louder. 'Cause I'm not dying alone. I lost my best friend to 23. She left her body and hovered above me. My best friend to 23. I heard the heavens crying above me. They gained an angel, I lost a friend. I felt like dying again and again. I went through hell, stared at death, but I keep fighting with each living breath. I saw no way out from where I stood. Felt like the fire had burned me through. Now you're gone, I'm alone. I guess it's time to get better. Through the pain, I will go alone.
What's up, nerds? Welcome back to the podcast. We were totally so into a conversation there about kayak stuff and some videos that we're going to be filming this weekend that we weren't even paying attention. Thanks, Chaz, for being our internal timer forever and ever. Chaz is the man. Welcome back, folks, to another episode of the Aggressively Average Anglers Alive. We are talking about kayaks and rigging them, maxing them out, or not maxing them out. We're trying to decide where we want to go with this. And the reason that we came up with this concept for tonight, and maybe a lot of you guys are out there thinking it, you're like, what do I need to add to my kayaks? Is we just picked up some Crescent kayaks. And like, we don't work with Crescent. This was not associated really with them at all. We went to a local dealer, the only Crescent kayak dealer in Michigan, called Water Dog Outfitters. They're up in Whitehall, Michigan. So if you guys are ever in Whitehall, or you're cruising through, or you're taking a look at beautiful scenic Lake Michigan, there's many cities along the way. You get north of Muskegon, you end up in Whitehall. It's a beautiful place. So our buddy Steven was there, and he owns the store. It's a fantastic dude. And we demoed 4 kayaks. You guys are going to see that video on Friday. And when we were demoing them, we went there with the purpose of testing the Shoaly because we want to get back on the river. And then
I've been targeting. I was going to buy the Shoaly no matter what.
Forever.
That was happening. Period.
And we were testing out, like, what's the other river kayak right now? The Bonafide RVRs.
The Bonafide. But
so
I had my eye on the Shoaly. We tested the Bonafide RVR, and we both wanted a river only kayak, a paddle only kayak. I was in on the Shoaly from day one. I gave the RVR its chance. It's fine. It's a great boat. I just like the idea of the Shoaly better. We'll get into that shortly in the show. But while we were at ICAST, the designer of the Shoaly, Drew Gregory, was just sitting around having himself a beverage, and
at an outdoor bar on the outdoor water day.
I bullied myself. I bullied myself into a conversation with him, and I told him, I was like, "Hey, I'm going to go do this," and he's like, "Well, where are you going?" And I was like, "Well, I'm going to probably Water Dog because they're the only dealer." He's like, "Oh, I know them. We might be able to get you guys set up with some kind of discount." So they ended up doing that for us. So Crescent signed off on it. Water Dog hooked the whole thing up, and they had everything in stock. They had all 3 colors, which was kind of dope. I know it doesn't sound like a big deal, but for a boat that's flying off the shelves, for them to have all 3 colors of like every model in stock, ready to just like be gone.
That's good.
Was super dope. Yeah. And then, because I was like, well, you have it in pink, I'll take it. I do not care. Like, I want to walk out with it today. But they had them all. And then the owner was Steve. Honestly, awesome. We're gonna have him on the show.
Yep.
Not because of any deal, just because he has an amazing story about how he started this business, and they do such a good freaking job at that shop. Have to have him on.
And he's a tournament guy too. And we
he's
saw
a
his
G.
tournament. He's got his tournament set up just like parked up behind the shop. And it's friggin' nice, you guys.
Well, and he supports the Michigan Kayak Trail Series. So some of the people that we interact with on like a daily basis, some people that have been on the show, Mike Kachkowski, that's like the big kayak trail tournament series in Michigan. So they're a supporter of that, and he fishes in that. So just really cool setup, really cool dude. And we kind of fell backwards into ended up walking out with 3 kayaks.
Also, I'll let you guys, this is your only teaser for Friday. I'll let you guess which one of us 2 fell in the water. I'll leave it at that. Somebody
make it a poll.
Swim.
Make it a poll.
Make it a poll, Joss. Who fell in the water? Who tipped
Someone did. Somebody did.
Kayak they hadn't paid for yet, that they were just demoing. They took a shop kayak and rolled it. This person was 4 inches. Was 4 inches from the dock. Literally, this person chose to bypass a kayak launching step to step onto the kayak.
Yeah.
And then rolled it.
So we're going to let the poll roll.
Run the poll. I think we got to catch them up on Knucklehead Bass series. So
we do. So you guys, there's only like 8 days left. This is insane. The August crept up on me. I had no idea how close we were to the getting that final person on Jeff's team or my team. I was like, yo, that's basically tomorrow. So we got like one more weekend. And then we've got Memorial Day. So hopefully everyone's fishing at some point on Memorial Day before September 1st. You got time. Get out there and get after it. But this is effectively it. We have most of the team set, but don't forget, there are still prizes on the line. So we still have all the Akuma, Busby, Monster Bass prizes that you could get for either Jeff and or my team. On top of all that, let's say you placed in 5th or 6th or 12th this month. Some of those people ahead of you may have elected to be on other teams. Maybe they're already on one of our teams. Ipso facto, there's actually there's still a spot on our team. So that still could be you. But even if it's not, there is still like a wild card team that they're putting together for folks who didn't quite make the cut. There's going to be like a whole Rogue Nation team.
Lots of chances.
So you could still go to like the big fishing party in November on Gunnersville in Alabama.
Yep. And we still have t-shirts to make. I got to put that back on my list here for teams, just for funsies. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I'm going down there to have fun.
You get a t-shirt if you're on my team.
Yeah.
I already drew mine.
I literally have a shirt too because I'm just using a picture. But doesn't matter. There are shirts. All right. So if you make the team, we'll hook you up. And if you don't have a kayak, we've been having people reach out to us like, listen, we hear you, we get it. Cool thing is Paul just bought 2 kayaks instead of 1.
Sure did.
Crazy. He's an absolute insane human man.
Hold on.
Team Flanders. There you go. There's your shirt, Team Flanders.
How awesome is that?
You drew that a long time ago, didn't you? Did you just draw that?
No, this was like months ago. I'm ready.
Yeah, I thought so.
Stay ready. It's perfect.
So we're gonna work on that. We may or may not have the shoalies and or Paul will most likely be fishing out of his light tackle too. So we're gonna have a couple of those, and then I'll have my Hobie, so you can use my shoalie if you want to, and just be nice to it. All right. So right now the standings are still in first and breaking the 100-inch mark for the first time, I think, on our teams since the beginning, going way back, right? Steven Scott, 101.75 Team Flanders. Alfredo Nunez, 91.5 inches, second place. And then Charles Fox with an unconfirmed weight on his roster there. So it's not qualified yet, but this guy's coming out of Ohio, 86.75 inches.
That's also good, dude, that's good for a Midwest score. You're you're feeling good.
Ohio, like he's technically in first on my team, but again, he's got an unconfirmed length, so he needs that confirmed first. Then we have Michael Menges, New York, 86.5, and second on my team, and then Christopher Rocca, my dude, 80 inches in third place. So a couple days left, one fishing weekend left. No? Yes?
This is it. One weekend left before Labor Day, not Memorial Day. Labor Day. Sorry.
Right.
I'm a child.
I mean, yeah, it starts that Friday, Saturday, Sunday there. So, until next Thursday, that's it. That's all we got, guys. All right. Let's dive in. I didn't even look at the show notes. I don't even know.
I handled everything as usual. Cool. Cue the D.
I've been writing the show notes. No. Time out. I've been.
I like
how
Jeff writes 3.
Shut it
down. And it's I've written the show notes.
That would be the last, I believe, 90 days. No, Chaz. Every time we're in there.
How long have we been doing this? How long have we been doing this?
Doesn't matter. Don't tell me I didn't do anything.
Go ahead. No, it doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
It was a great start to the show. What's your cue of the D?
Mine, yeah. Hardest bad habit for you to kick.
Hardest bad habit.
Yeah,
by the way,
who
fell in the water? Paul 61%, Jeff 38%. You guys have to see. You have to see on Friday. I mean,
no, you guys are right. It was me.
It was Paul.
It was me. It's amazing. I haven't seen the footage yet. I'm very excited to see the footage. And there will be a short, aka reel.
And I'm gonna watch it over and over again.
Oh yeah, 100%. Hardest bad habit for you to kick. Mine is far and away not close. Nothing even touches how difficult it would be for me to kick this. Energy drinks. Oh my God. I've done it. I go months. I go months without it, but like permanently, no way. Because what will happen is I'll have like a big chore activity, like mental hurdle thing that I have to do. And I'm like, I need a mental boost. And I will have myself a Monster or a whatever. And oh my God. And then I'll crush it. And I'm like, and then every single small hurdle, like a little molehill, I'll just have a Monster so I can just crush it. And then all of a sudden I'm drinking one a day for like 6 months. And I'm like, I'm going to not do this anymore. And then I'll just not do that for 3 days. That's me kicking that habit. It's impossible.
I've been in a very dangerous place with energy drinks because I used to work in the gym and I would be in there from like 6 a.m. till 10 p.m. like working.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And to get through it, it's like slamming protein bars was like my meals, and then energy drinks 2 or 3 times a day, man. You know, do you remember? Have you ever had ABB, which is American Bodybuilding? They make their own sups, bevies, right? Have you ever had a Speed Stack or a Speed Stack Extreme?
Do I look like a Speed Stack kind of guy?
Yes, you do.
Well, no,
it's your frame.
Okay,
it's your pale complexion. So, what? No, it's an energy beverage. Yeah, exactly. But like, all right, so Speed Stack, this is how aggressive ABB is. These bottles had like grooves for your fingers. So it was like a grippable beverage container, right? And they have the regular Speed Stack is like 350 milligrams caffeine, a little more, but it also has creatine, BCAAs, etc. And then the Speed Stack Extreme, hang on, we're not there. Buckle up, 450 milligrams caffeine. So if you want to die, start drinking those a lot. Just saying. Anybody else? No.
The strain on your organs is extreme. That's what's extreme. Holy crap.
Yeah, Michael, I'm not a humble brag. It was my job. I wasn't working out. I didn't train all day, 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. I sold personal training. So like that's what I did. Not a humble brag. Just a crappy job.
Yeah, for me it's caffeine. Like
I think caffeine is that's
but not coffee caffeine. That's still included in the diet. This is additional. This is the
most diets are cool with black coffee. So I mean, come on. Like it's totally normal. Gosh, what would mine be? Mine would be like either like late night snacking, like I just want to cram food in my gullet at 10 p.m.
Sure, yeah.
Or just not falling asleep, like refuse, like either watching a screen or doing something like that.
Revenge not sleeping, revenge wakefulness. That's 100%.
Yeah,
a terrible habit that I have, where it's like I need a rest, so I'll stay up till 3 a.m. not get rested for my next day. It's a vicious cycle, 100%.
Exactly. Jolt colas were fierce. Jolt, yes, it was. And then Nick Rodriguez, does it have handlebars? It should have had handlebars. What would have been better is Speed Stack has these little bars on the side, and you could like rev one side like it's a motorcycle, and then drink it.
All right, let's go ahead and move on to the show because I'm scared about this happening.
Oh, that I'm gonna invent that? Sure. Yeah.
Please don't.
It's going down. I am. 600 milligrams caffeine. They said we couldn't fit anymore, but we did.
And then It was an instant
Like,
death.
who was that TikTok guy that you followed that like he would mix all the monsters into one?
That guy was great. Very impressive feats.
Yeah.
But
just,
he for sure may not have made it through that.
I don't think he's alive anymore.
Yeah.
Pretty sure he's dead.
They remember the BFC? It was 3 monsters in one can.
Yep. Yeah, we talked about that the other night. Was that on members only or on last week?
Yeah, it was members. It should have been illegal. There's
no
way the FDA approved that.
Notice all those brands are going to the smaller can now with less than 200 milligrams.
Like, you see?
They're like, there's going to be some repercussions here at some point.
Yeah, well, because people's hearts are exploding, and I'm not really exaggerating.
They'll be like, now they did it just so they could be like, see, you can pick the small can. What's your problem? Anyways, we should talk about kayaks.
Slug a BFC. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna break down what you might see, and I'm gonna call them the big rigs, and then you're gonna have the baby rigs. So the reason we're doing the show is there's kind of like this. There's a trend happening right now, and it's just starting. It's maybe 6 months, maybe a year old. Not that people haven't been doing this, but people in the industry, like as of 5 years ago, everyone was migrating towards like huge boats, loaded like a bass boat, right? That was like the kayak mantra. It was like jam it all in there, big pedals, big weights, wide boats, stand-up fish, like add a motor, trolling motor, everything, blah, 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 blah. That's the big rigs. I feel like the big rig trend now has a competing trend where now everyone's starting to downsize, maybe even going all the way as much as going paddle only. And we're going to talk about what those two rigs might look like and how you could kind of tell the difference. And then we're going to talk about pros and cons. So that's what we're going to do. Let's start with what might you see on what I'm dubbing the big rig.
I mean, just look at our Hobies aren't even like, I would put our Hobies in a 7 out of 10 category on big rig status. I think they're like
8.
8?
There's only two things that thing that I can think of that's not
scope.
On our boat. Yeah, there's only one thing I can think of. Yeah,
there's plenty of other accessories that are not on our boat, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, but okay, so here's some things you would see on a big rig. First of all, a big rig is going to have one of two ways of propulsion. It's either going to, well, maybe 3, but some kind of motor, whether
multiple
it's a
ways.
Trolling motor on the front or a motor on the back.
That's really what I'm talking about. Like
that's what puts us down one level, right? For sure.
The other is 2 screens, bro.
No, 2 screens. Okay.
2 screens, then a power pole. That puts us down 1, 2, 3. That's a 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
I rest my case.
I don't know. I think we offset it with some other things, but yes. Okay.
Sure.
So we do have live
scope.
Big. We are at the top end though, for sure. So I think the motor is the one thing, whether it's a trolling and a main motor in the back and a power pole. Like those are going to be your big. That's the very top. That's what pushes you over. That's what you're going to see. Now you're for sure going to see pedal drive though.
So and real quick, just on that note, Theron Lewis Jr. points out Fluke Masters is the definition. Sure. So like look 100%. Look at Fluke Master. Look at Christine Fisher. Look at
big rig.
Those are great examples of big rigs. Look at a lot of tournament guys. If you guys
I'll say this right here,
bros.
I'll say this right here. Regardless of what you have, if you're over 200 pounds, big rig. If your total rig weight is over 200.
Well over.
You're when you well worry, over, but I'm just saying, just in general, that's a big rig. 200 pounds plus is a big rig.
You're worried your wheels aren't going to carry it.
You're worried for sure. So here's some of the stuff that you're going to see. We were talking about electronics packages, and when we talk about electronics packages, you're talking about 20 pounds plus just in battery weight.
Yep.
Right. You're talking about a 10-inch plus screen. That's kind of the minimum for
ideally.
big boy boat. Maybe 2 screens, like Jeff said. So you're talking about big screens. Maybe forward facing. You're talking maybe forward facing sonar, right?
Yep.
And that's
definitely
just more equipment, big arm off the side of the boat for that other transducer, lots of wiring. You've got basically what is an amp control, a power control unit. And then you've got your power control button units to control the different components. Like just in electronics, my boat probably has 25 to 50 pounds, not including the battery, of electronics.
Minimum, because if you
got
look
the mounting plate, you've got the wiring harnesses, you've got the controller unit, you've got the battery controller unit. There's quite a bit that goes along. You don't even see with just the screen. So there's quite a bit that
it's all inside the boat. It's all inside the boat.
But it's a lot. It's heavy.
Then you add the battery, and if you want to run for a decent amount of time,
75 pounds,
54 plus amp. So we're at a 54 amp hour with Dakota Lithium,
which is big. You can get away with a lot less.
until you talk to tournament guys. Like it's kind of big.
The tournament guys,
and then you're like, yeah, I'm running dual 54s. I'm running the 100.
Christine's
like,
rolling 100. So I guess my point is though, but there's a range, right? There's no rule. This is just going to be a big battery. It's going to be a 20-pound battery. We're talking about quite a so we're talking about 75 pounds, maybe 100 pounds of electronics, like with the battery. So quite a bit.
I think so.
Then you're talking about integrated wheels. So we have the Boondocks landing gear, very common. Some people have their own version of that, but it still requires Native has their own, but there's a bar that goes across. The wheels stay on the kayak at all times. It's really convenient.
The better option.
It's such a great option. It's very nice, but it's heavy. Tube steel, like aluminum. It's freaking heavy.
It depends because the Native is a lighter setup. Like the Boondocks is that heavy grade stuff.
But there's still only
the aluminum crossbeam is the
but there's a reinforcement inside that kayak. There's a bar inside the boat.
Yeah, the bar doesn't weigh anything. It's pretty light. But yeah, I hear you.
It's still heavy. We're talking.
That's still on the Boondocks. That's my point. There's heavy wheels and there's lighter wheels. The Natives are lighter.
They're lighter. They're still heavier than
everything on the boat's heavy, man. There's nothing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So regardless of whether it's 2 pounds,
technically,
it's just
you're
heavy.
the lightest thing on your boat.
I mean, potentially.
If you start breaking things down.
Yeah. And then you've also got. I think this is where next you're going to see like a big crate. So you're going to see a crate that takes up the entirety, the 16-inch by 16-inch crate. It's going to have enough rod holders to hold 6 to 8 rods, and minimum would be 4. Minimum
it's the full size black pack.
That's the one you're going to see quite a bit. And then inside of that, you're going to see a ton of tackle. So you're talking 6, 8 tackle boxes, a bunch, like maybe 2 or 3 bags of plastics, like big. I'm talking like big, 8 by 15 bags of plastic, like big bags of plastics. A buzzbait box, a frog box, a whole thing of jigs. Like you can bring whatever you want. That's the whole point. So you're gonna have all this. So you're gonna have that 6 to 8 combos, right? You're gonna have 4 or 6 rods in the boat. That's more weight, right?
Yeah.
And then you have to have like
6 to 8 or even 10 is like tournament level.
Sure.
But we take 4 to 6. That's our. So your weekend
standard.
Your weekend warrior, they're taking 4 to 6 depending on what they're doing. We're filming, so we generally take 6. Just so that we can do a bunch of different stuff. But if I was just going out there to fish, it might just be 4. I also got to point out there's this. Techwin Roberts says, I'll take my roughneck deep V. And a few people have said, like, it's a boat now. Exactly.
That's the point.
I totally hear you.
You're not wrong.
It's a singular boat that I could put in the back of my truck. It's throw and go.
It's not a bad thing. Yeah. And
it's not a bad thing, but it's never really been boat versus kayak to us. Like we don't care about that at all. Maybe some people do. We're not out here being like kayaks forever, live and die by the kayak. Like boats are great. I think boats are fantastic and vice versa. So it's situational, and like anything else we talk about on this channel, it's all dependent on what you personally want. Like what do you enjoy? And the little solo ride, although you can add it up and you'd be like, oh, I could get an okay boat for that. Don't tell me you can get a great boat. You can get an okay boat for that.
John boat.
Yeah, you can get a John boat. You can deck it out to your heart's content.
Go nuts,
you
bro.
can fit multiple people in there.
Yeah, you can fit 4 people in there on a 16-footer.
Yeah, and there's a purpose for that. Absolutely. 100%. If I'm a tournament guy, I'm by myself all the time. Maybe I don't want to deal with the trailer. Some of those guys do.
I hate people. That's simple as that.
I want no reason to put any other person in my boat.
I'll tell you why you're not coming with me. I don't like you, but also I can say it's just because I don't have a seat.
And I'll pay $20,000 for that.
That's the other thing. You're talking about big seats. So you're talking about ultra premium, ultra comfortable, maybe a 360 swivel seat that moves back and forth.
Ooh, a lot more now. Like I hadn't really seen those except for New Canoe. I think it was just not the Unlimited.
Those are the only 2 right now that have a 360 is the New Canoe and the Titan.
Yeah. But I think they had it on a model last time we went, 2021 at ICAST. It was the first time I'd seen it. I was like, what? And it was on DNR Sports. We tested it on that one.
Yeah. So that's the Unlimited. So that's that's all. That's you're gonna see that. You're gonna see the most comfortable seat I've ever been in a kayak in the Hobie. It's an amazing seat. You're gonna see full size nets. You're gonna see like a big extension net. And you might not even have a paddle. Maybe you're just emergency paddle because you're probably gonna have 1 or maybe 2 ways of moving that boat all on its own. You're also talking about potentially a trailer. Like a lot of times when guys get past that weight, you ditch the wheels and go, look at me, I
Yeah.
shaved 4 pounds, but then you have a 17-foot trailer with a full-length tongue. Like you have
At
a
that
huge.
point, I don't think it's about that. I think it's all storage based because you see the
I know
trailers
it's a
like
joke
the
though.
tournament.
Yeah.
Well, like the tournament guys, you get the
Mhm.
rod tube on the side, you get like the camping
Well, and you
setup.
don't want to carry it. You just don't want to carry the boat, and you don't
No.
have to. So totally, I'm not. This is, by the way, none of this is a jab. This is just what you're going to see. I have this boat. I'm happy with
Yeah.
it. I like it.
This
It's
is,
cool.
bro.
Like I
No,
have
it's
80%
a
of this.
discussion.
Yeah,
That's what we're going
I'm not
into.
like we're not
Chill.
jabbing anybody. You will
Chill, man.
also see all of the accessories. So you're talking
Everything
rod
you can
holders
get.
everywhere, camera accessories, paddle holders, big swing arms, all of the, like we'll say bells and whistles, right? All the things that you can tack on after the fact, right? Everything. So you're gonna see that too.
Yeah, Mike M goes, go to the gym. If you can't get your 100-pound kayak into your pickup truck, then it's your problem. I would say, too, just keep in mind, some people might actually have like back problems. They might have disabilities.
They may just not want to deal with it.
They might be an older person and like they only have a top-loaded vehicle. Like it's not an option for everybody until they really nail like a top-load design. Remember when Ethan was talking about that on IG? He like made a post. He was like, when is this going to happen? And I'm sure a company is going to come with it. A roof loader for a kayak.
Oh, yeah. They have one.
Like,
there's one that's out there.
What?
It's not common. I think what Ethan wants to see.
It's not common, but yeah.
No, but what Ethan wants to see is a kayak that weighs less than 50 pounds that's a sit on top. That's what Ethan wants to see.
I mean, companies can get close. You want to toe that line with durability.
We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it shortly, but it's very close.
We're getting there. I mean, go to the gym, sure, but like trailer, sometimes it's a necessity.
It is. Well, and it may just be how you at that point with that weight, you get to a point where you're like, why am I lugging this darn thing around? I could just use a trailer and everything's great. That's what boats have, trailers. I don't push that. Like, totally makes sense.
I'll be honest, the 50 yards from my truck to the ramp is sometimes really not fun.
Yeah, it's not cool.
And I work out. So
why would I do that if I didn't have to? I could just get a trailer.
If it could be avoided, that'd be great.
And then you take the wheels off. So I get it. Now, the last thing I'll call out here is that you're dealing with a big price tag. These kayaks are not inexpensive. The base price for a Hobie 360 right now is like $6,000. The Titan X, $3,600 for the newest 10-foot mod.
The EPDL, $6,000.
The EPDL, right? $6,000. So
I say the Titan X is it creates more accessibility to that type of kayak at that 100%. Price point. I was interested when they were like $3,600. I was like,
no, it's a value. I still think it's a value.
It looks like a good value.
But you're still talking about $7,000 build.
Once you deck it out.
Yeah.
That's
what it's meant for.
I'm saying the base at a Hobie now is $6,000. I found my old.
I'm not arguing.
I found my old price tag from the store for the 360, and it says $4,400. That's what I paid for my 360. You did too. And now I look at the price. I'm like, holy cow, dude, that would hurt.
And that's with them moving production to Mexico.
Yep.
And then just increasing their margin because they're just going to sell the company again.
Exactly.
So I think, again, when I say build, I mean like that's your all-in price. You're talking about $7,000 between if you go for a full electronics package, all the accessories, maybe some kind of motor or a power pole. You're talking about $7,000.
Oh no! You add the power pole itself is $1,000 plus, and then you add Torqeedos $3,000, Newport's $3,000. You add in Live Scope. We talked about this on the drive back
closer
from the
to
shop.
10.
It's like $4,000 or $5,000.
7,000 to 10,000. Yeah.
Now we're in the 10 to 15 range, and if you get a Hobie, you're pushing over. Some of these guys have paid over 15. We haven't yet.
No, we did pretty good. I think.
I'm happy we cut ourselves off.
It's very expensive. So
and we had help. Like there was some discounts on some of those things. Discounts.
So that's the big rig, right? And there's nothing like again. This is not better versus worse. This is just kind of walking you guys through the trend. It took years for us to get here, right?
Yep.
The Hobie Pro Angler is sort of, I'll call it the pinnacle, but there's other models that are similar. I think the Titan X
at the time it was the
But at the time it was like the pinnacle, and it was like, okay, we have gotten to a place where this is extreme. Like this is a big, expensive monster build, and you can put whatever you want on it. There are no rules anymore. And so we got there, but then you start seeing some other companies come out with basically the exact opposite.
You see more skips, sups,
So
lightweight,
skips would be like
ultralight.
very low gunnel,
Yep.
like short, like not tall boats, like 6 inches tall,
Mhm.
very lightweight, but wider and ready for a motor. You're going to see a lot of SUPs, like stand-up paddle boards, like Jeff was talking about, that are built for fishing. But you're also seeing a lot of boats like the Sea Ghost, right?
Yep.
A lot of VOD kayaks, they're paddle-only boats, and they're relatively minimalistic. They still have a lot of accessories, but I
Pretty
think
minimal, pretty light.
Crescent,
Yeah.
I think, is like sort of kind of the peak of what I would consider. The concept on the Crescent, and this is why I wanted the Shoaly, and I ended up buying a light tackle too. The concept is I'm going to build everything in. Everything is molded in that's going to come with. You don't need to add much of anything at all to be a really efficient angler, and we're going to get the price way down. We're going to get that price extremely accessible, and we're going to focus on things that don't cost you money by quality through design. So we're going to design the kayak to have everything built into the mold. If I design it well one time, every time I make that kayak, it doesn't cost me anything after I make that mold. So you design it really well. You have an incredibly efficient hull design that makes you fast, efficient, and lightweight. And then you make everything molded in that you can. And all of a sudden, you've got a kayak that doesn't cost very much and has everything built into it already. So that's sort of the opposite. So on these, what I'm going to call the baby rigs, there's a couple things that you can
I'd call it the ultralight rig, not the baby rig.
Sure, I like baby rigs because the alliteration is good between big rigs and baby rigs. Anyways,
so we're rocking baby rigs. All right, cool.
I like baby rigs.
Got it.
Yeah, so, something about alliteration always.
It's fine. It's just it's stupid, but it's fine.
I love how dumb it is. So what you're gonna see in these ultralight baby rigs, you're going to see
the end.
Nothing. No, you're gonna see what you're gonna see is 2 to 4 rods. Right? Forget 6 to 8, 10. You're talking 2 to 4.
You don't got the room.
Gonna have. Yeah, you're not gonna have a lot of room, and you're not gonna have a lot of just storage options. So you're gonna have 2 to 4 rods.
I mean, your options essentially grab the black pack, deck it out with. You could put a ton of rod holders on that,
but it's gonna be much smaller. Like you're just not gonna grab. Most cases, if you're going minimalistic. It's not that you can't. It's that's not the concept. The guy who's buying this kayak typically is not the guy that's bringing 12 rods, because if he did, he would go get an Old Town. He like that.
I wouldn't always agree with that. I think sometimes they are going for this for the purpose of just having the lighter plastic piece, and then they can. I mean, we look at freaking Jeff Little's Crescent Shoaly, his light tackle too. He made a little boat, a big boat. So sure,
but that's not an ultralight rig. That's not what we're talking. The concept here is that you're just not going to bring as much stuff because you don't really need it.
Oh, that's a mid rig.
I think. Well, I mean, if by the time you add a torpedo, a battery kit, giant electronics kit, it's just a big boat and a smaller platform. It's just a big boat that you don't stand up in.
It's in its mid-20s.
A lot of guys are going to have less rods. They're going to have a smaller crate, if they even have a crate at all. You're going to see 2 to 3 tackle box / plastics bags. They're going to have a small hand net if they have a net at all. Basic electronics kit with a small 2-go battery, waterproof battery that doesn't require a box. If there's even a unit in it at all, basic anchor, maybe no anchor. They're going to have minimal accessories. They're not going to have a bunch of rod holders. They're not going to have, a paddle holder, a rod holder, 4 in the back. They're just not going to have all that stuff. The wheels are going to be a separate kit if they even need them at all.
Although companies like Boondocks make the same wheels we have for the Shoaly.
100%.
So again, like you could do that, but scupper. I was planning on using my scupper wheels, but the Shoaly only has the middle scupper.
Singles, yeah.
So I was like, oh, that's not gonna work.
Another thing that you're gonna see is a lot of the kayaks are not gonna be nearly as big. They're not gonna weigh as much, which means they're not gonna be as wide, which means standing up is not gonna be a priority. Right? They're only gonna be 34 inches wide. They're not gonna be 38, 42 inches wide. And so
there's a lot of videos about stability with like the Shoaly, the Light Tackle 2, etc. Which, spoiler alert, the boat that flipped was a Light Tackle 2. There's a lot of stability vids, but I'm always like, but are you? But like, are you gonna do that most of the time? No,
don't do that. Not. Just know that it's not. That's not how it's designed. You're sitting on that boat at all times.
Yeah.
You're going to see minimalistic seats. Now, does that mean you can't add a kayak cushion if you need to? No, they're going to be comfortable. They are
super comfortable, yeah.
But they're designed minimalistically. A lot of the accessories that you would normally add, like cup holders and stuff, There's options molded in. Tackle storage. It's actually molded into the gunnels and under the seat. It's not really meant to have a giant crate in the back nearly as much. And
generally
so
with a lot of thought as well. Like, so the Sholeys have the little strap over them as well. You guys will see that. We got a couple of videos we're going to do in them, but yeah, it's pretty neat. Friday you'll see the full walkthrough.
And then you're going to, I mean, in general, it's basically, again, it's the exact opposite. Now, this isn't better, this isn't worse, but you're seeing a lot of kayak companies come out with boats, like the RVR is a great example.
And the Skiff.
The SS 127, I think, is actually a good competitor as well. But the weight on these things, Crescent's whole setup only weighs 80 pounds or less. Most of them are 70 to 75 pounds.
It's actually a lot less than that. The crew, the tandem, is 79.
79.
Your light tackle is 75. The Sholey was 76.
And that's a 12.5 foot boat. Like, you're talking about, they have a 10 footer that's like 60 some pounds. Like, it's wild.
The ultralight was cool. The ultralight was really cool.
It's great.
And what was the one we were? The CK1?
The CK Venture. Really that's the one. That's the 10 footer.
We didn't do the ultralight.
No, we did the CK Venture, which I thought was super maneuverable. But these are going to be paddle only, no pedals in at least the Crescent lineup. But a lot of times you're just by ditching the pedals, you're ditching the weight. And so, and by ditching all that weight, the paddling, I mean, Jeff, when I'm paddling against you in the sit inside, I'm just as fast
versus a pedal. So pedal versus paddle, like pedal, I mean, it depends on the boat. Props are certainly faster than fins, but like the Hobie is more of a, we had Mike Kitchkowski on here. It's torque, it's power, right? And he was talking about memories. He told a story about towing a pontoon. I'll never forget that.
I know.
So, and there's video, like he towed a friggin' pontoon with a Hobie. It ain't fast. It is not fast at all. And if you want to get to 4 miles an hour, you are sweating profusely. Not ideal. So yeah, paddle can be faster than pedal. And I think it's pretty close around the prop drives versus the fins.
Yeah, I would agree. Now, again, there are pros and cons with and then cost. I mean, the 12.5 foot Crescent Light Tackle 2, $1,200. That's that's
pretty
three.
Insane.
That's 3 Titan X's. Literally.
Yeah,
that's 3 Titan X's. So,
well, no, there's 3 of those in a Titan X. Is what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
There's not 3 Titan X's.
I'm sorry. Yes. There's 3. That's 3 of those equates to 1 Titan X.
Got it.
So when we talk about pros and cons, right? A lot of times people not wanting to give up pedals. Totally get it. That's gonna be a tough one to get around. People who don't want to sit and fish the whole time. That's gonna be a hard one to get around. Not that there aren't models in between, but you're giving that up. People who can't trim down the number of rods. That may be a deal breaker for you. People who like to have the big electronics packages, if that's a deal breaker for you, like that's going to be a problem, right? Now again, you can build any kayak. There is always going to be a kayak build for everybody at this point. The market is flooded. It's awesome. But I love, personally, when we were talking about, hey, what's next for us fishing wise, knowing that I'm getting out of my Hobie. It's a great boat, love it, but we're just going to make a change. And I was like, I'm doing this just because I want to do something different. For me, when I look at the Crescent Light Tackle 2, it's all lightweight all the time. Now, might I add a motor to the back? Maybe. Maybe. Right? I love that concept.
It's a guarantee.
It's awesome. And so, but I also like the idea of, I've been loving paddling only having 2 rigs, 2 setups, and just getting after it. I absolutely love it. So I'm a huge fan of going ultralight. I am. Now, again, you're giving up a lot though. Like not standing up, not having that seat, not having this crazy sonar, like that will be an adjustment for sure.
There are things I'm willing to adjust for, like the sonar. Like this is our river fishing vessel, so I'm good with not having it.
Well, yours is Shoaley.
What? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. The Light Tackle 2, you could move your Garmin over to. I don't think you will. It sounds like you're looking to downsize.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, though, like one of the things that's tough to let go of for me is standing up. On the river, I'm fine with it. I like to be more stable anyways. I have enjoyed being able to stand on the bigger river sections, like over on the Grand here in Michigan. in my Hobie Pro Angler. There's too many stretches where you got to paddle, and I'm just not about it with the Hobie. So I'd rather have a nice low draft, like fun, light kayak for that. And I'm okay with giving up standing for that situation, but on the lake, I'm not. So like when we get rid of the Hobies, for me, I'm going to get another big rig. Like I just like a big rig in that scenario, especially on those lakes and ponds. Somebody called out the Pescador Pro, which is a paddle kayak. I think they said pedal, 64 pounds base weight. It's a paddle. There is no pedal version of this. The pedal version is the Outlaw, or I think there's the Pilot. The Pilot or the Outlaw. You're talking about two different kayaks there, bud. But
there's
super light, 64 pounds.
Now there's a conversation happening about whether or not kayak prices are coming down.
I don't know.
I
don't think so.
Yes and no. Like,
I don't think so.
This is why it's like yes and no. Like to me, there is always going to be a market for an expensive kayak.
Mm-hmm.
That Old Town EPDL is too expensive. That is
big rig
unreal.
Folks. Big rig folks are ready to spend up for a big rig.
Now, but spending up for a big rig, $3,600, I think that's pretty low.
That's
like
low.
It's expensive, but I think that's kind of on the low side. Yeah. If nothing else, it's for sure a hold. But that seems relatively low to me compared to
that's what I was saying
out there.
When they said 3,600, I'm making
a point.
What?
Like they're talking about prices are not coming down for sure.
No, they're not.
No one is going to lower the price on a current model. It's not going to happen. So
if not ever expect that. If they're making sales on it, you guys, it's never going back down.
Don't expect that. Now, so you got to watch launches. Look what Crescent did. The Light Tackle 2 is $1,200. Good luck beating that. The Shoally's $1,700, $1,600.
Still tough to beat, but the RVR is around the same price.
The RVR is $1,700. So I don't like that. All passes the vibe test. I think for sure. Yes, they're not going up dramatically with the one exception of that Old Town. I think that is insane. Now, yes, the Shoally, you can stand in it. Yes, the Light Tackle 2, you can stand it, but that's not primarily what it's designed for. That's not the expectation. The Hobie Pro Angler is designed to be stood in 24/7.
And
the
it
Outback
excels because
that's what it's designed for. The Outback,
the Outback
is
a little
not.
less so, but yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's not. It's meant to be fast. That's why people who buy ocean boats, they're not buying a PA-14. They're buying an Outback.
I've seen them on the ocean, and I'm always like, how? Bro, how? Like, how did you get out there? You towed it. You towed it.
On a PA-14?
Friggin' way. Yes.
Yes, 100%.
I've seen it generally more than 12, but
that's just not what it's designed. That's not what it's designed for.
Exactly. But all right, so anybody's calling out like, yeah, you can stand on it. You can stand on anything on the water. I watched a TikTok of a man surfing a log down a river. Yeah. You can stand on anything.
It's tippy.
It's just tippy. And when you're like 6 foot plus and over 220 pounds, all of me not liking to stand in that situation. So I'm just saying.
Very stable once you're sitting. Like when you're sitting in it, no concerns whatsoever. None.
No.
0.0.
You guys, when I tell you, it was so great. The first couple paddles for me were so great. I forgot how to use my brain. And I said, can you believe how well this floats on water? And Paul goes, yeah, it's kayak. And I was like, no. I meant how graceful it is. And like my brain just melted.
Ballerina.
It's a ballerina on the water. It's insane. Yeah. And like the CK1, even more so. Like top tier. Like S-ranked ballerina. Yep. It was great. Pleasant experience. All right. So they're both Pescador models. You can get it with a Pilot drive. That's what you're talking about. Is the pedal is called the Pilot. So it's a Pescador base. Great. I appreciate that, man, because we haven't gotten into Perception at all. Like it's one of the other brands that we want to test out. And they were kind of at ICAST, but really they were there for Wilderness. They had the Catch 100 or whatever on display, but it wasn't even a model on the floor.
Which again, Wilderness Systems is
mostly
a whole bunch of boats that are super value.
Another brand we need to test out.
Wicked value.
This just comes down to
Wilderness Systems. We've tried. We actually tried to get into a couple of them.
Hey, Wilderness Systems marketing team that deleted our email. No, we reached out. We tried to figure it out. There's like what shops around us Dick's Sporting Goods doesn't do demos. Like nobody does demos, and I'm not just gonna go buy.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go buy one for you.
I'm not gonna go buy one because I don't really. It's not.
But
what
even
I'm looking for,
their big boats, even their bigger models that are meant to be loaded up, they're a value. They're like a little over 2,000, and they're. I'm very impressed. Honestly, I think
price point they look cool. Like I think they're great
for
boats.
$1,000.
I've never used.
You get an 11.5-foot kayak that's got some molded in benefits, and it's got their upgraded seat. That's the big deal. Like you're paying what normally you pay $1,700 for in their higher end model. You get the seat for $1,000, $900. It's like that's a value. I think the prices they don't fluctuate very much after the fact. If they do, it's a big swing. So yes, prices went up post-COVID.
Big swing.
But a lot of people were just charging more for kayaks because people wanted expensive, bigger boats with all the stuff in them. And now this is what we're talking about. There's like a trend that's like pulling back. That's like, maybe I don't want that. Maybe I want to just have a lighter boat with maybe not very much in it. And this is not everybody, but this is a trend where it's like, I just want a boat that's well designed. I want to pay for not very much extra. And I think I can do just as good as somebody who's got the ultra loaded boat. I'm okay with giving some stuff up when I don't pay as much and I get this really high quality design. I think that's sort of like a new type of kayak that you're going to see more of.
I think so. I don't think you're often fishing against that same person. Like it's not big rig versus baby rig. I don't think because it's just why would that happen? If you're in a tournament, they're all going to be big rigs.
Oh, absolutely not.
All right. I will throw down. I will sit my lawn chair and have a 30 rack ready to go to watch you throw down at a Michigan kayak trail tournament against all of the Hobies with 2 screens. You go for that. I'm here.
Chad Hoover has what I would consider to be a lighter model. He's in a paddle only kayak with single screen. No motor.
Oh, that's like you're putting a screen out. You're talking about your light tackle or your baby rig? Because if we're saying baby rig, you mean your Shoaly.
I'm talking about a non-pedal, non-motor kayak that has relatively minimal accessories. I think that falls in that category.
I don't think Chad Hoover falls in that category, bro.
I do.
All right, Chad. Does Chad Hoover fall into running we'll say a mid rig?
Look at all of his rigs. Paddle only.
All right, I have.
Yeah, paddle only, single screen.
Paddle only, correct. Everything else, nah, he's rigged out. He has a motor. Yeah, crazy cranker. He's got a motor.
He has one with a motor, but I don't think most of his kayaks have.
Is he doing his tournament like without it? Like, or is he doing his tournament?
That's what I see him using at all times. I'm saying yes. I'm gonna go and do it right now.
Hell's no. Chad runs a motor. A lot of rides. Yeah, he has a motor. Chad not like light. So yeah, I
don't know. All I know is if you're a tournament fisherman, you need to have a lot of rods for sure.
Yeah,
but
so you're running a minimum,
and I'm saying
not a baby rig.
Someone who's a non-professional who has to buy all their stuff. I think yes, absolutely.
I think they don't have a choice. Sure. But I think if you're doing, it's pay to play with tournaments though. So you have to factor that in as well. I think if I'm willing to pay, I'm going to pay up for my boat because I'm investing in this, like I want to be good at it as much as some people will say like, sure, I'll just go do a weekend tourney. Like, yeah, whatever. I'll throw down in that. Sure. Like, no, dude, like it's an investment and I should be good at it. So I'm not really willing to throw all that money away. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that because you spent more money on your kayak, you're a better fisherman or you have more.
I didn't say that. The motor is surely benefits.
The motor is the one place where you take a big hit. And maybe electronics.
And that surely benefits you.
That's what I'm saying. Those are the two places where you take a big hit. Yeah. But I don't think that's a guarantee. And I think
nobody said it makes you a better angler. It definitely makes you more effective and efficient.
That's what I'm
saying. So even if you're a really bad angler,
yeah,
maybe you have to spend up. Technically, I guess it does make you a better angler because like you become more effective and efficient.
You and I both know that's not what that means.
I'm sorry. Our graphs helping?
Does make you. Yes. It lets you cover water for sure. There's no argument.
It doesn't land the fish for you.
No. Yes.
But it gets you to the fish faster and it helps you find the faster.
Yeah.
If you got live scope, you can just play them 100%. So I don't know. I like how he did this topic seating. I love it. It's also 1,000,000 degrees outside. I'm sweating in this my little sweat box here.
With your 4.
I'm in a shed, you guys.
Your AC.
It's not. It's pretty big. It's kicking.
I will say. I mean, to me, I think that there's, especially with an electric motor, when it's not a trolling motor.
Yep.
There's no way that you don't see at least a huge part of the field move away from the Hobie size kayak.
I'd agree with a 14-footer with the 6 internal rod tubes and all of that, but I think they just go Titan X, bro. I think they just do the slightly smaller big rig. Like that would be.
Some people do that.
That's where I see it go. I think the majority of tournament guys, if they're predominantly tournament guys, they're going to go to that mid to big rig, somewhere in between, like the mid rig that we're talking about, which chat says Chad Hoover does not have, to the big rig. They're like right here. I think they go here.
Probably
a little bit lighter, a little bit, I don't know, slim and trim comparatively, but still technically a big rig. Like the normal Joe Schmo at the boat ramp is going to be like, holy crap, dude.
Oh yeah. But I mean, the normal Joe Schmo that sees, I don't know. I mean, most guys that see a kayak that's at remotely, if you see electronics on a kayak, pedals, most times
pedals.
Yeah, even just pedals. I think most guys are like, oh my god, what did you do? Like,
here's the funniest thing, and I know you've heard this when we're together, and you've heard it on your own. You pedal by on your Hobie, right? And they're like, yo, how do you power that thing? You got a motor? And I'm like, I'm the motor. They're like, oh, you just use your feet? And I'm like, did you see the live scope? Did you see all the rods and reels behind me? You see this crate? You see this anchor? You see these wheels? They're like, oh man, you pedal that thing, bro? It's the base inclusion. Like it's the first thing I get automatically. Are you kidding me?
That's what I'm saying. I think like the average Joe Schmo at the ramp, they're dazzled by not very much.
Exactly. They're like, that ain't a sun dolphin? I'm like, no, bro, it's not a sun dolphin. Why not? What are you aghast at in there?
I think hot as heck here in southern Japan.
Oh, really? I mean, it's record temps around the world. Like it's not good.
Crazy. I didn't know Crazy Cranker was in Japan.
I didn't either. That's pretty crazy.
That's why I'm a
Crazy Cranker. All right. So yeah, let's get into maybe some. Should we tell them what we're going to rig on these? Let's do that real quick, and then we'll do Slow Rolling Thunder. You guys, we do have a Monster Bass gift card. It's good for $25 for anything on the website, monsterbass.com, except for the actual subscription itself. But I would put it towards maybe a Monster Bass rod. Maybe wait a month or two.
That's the best value you're going to get by far.
There could be an ultralight rod. It could pay for a big portion of that. Just saying. So maybe hang on to it. All right. Anyway, so that'll be coming out. Just follow the instructions on the screen. However, to qualify, you got to start saying stuff. You got a chitty chat in the chat, and you will be qualified for a random draw. We're picking someone at random, and as long as you are currently a human person and alive and in chat still by the time we announce it, then you can win your gift card. All right. So what we're doing? Obviously, there's going to be a rigged video that'll come out very soon. Because we're almost done with rigging on these Crescent Shoalies, right? Because there's a few things to do. So we're at the shop. So again, big shout outs, Steve, Water Dog Outfitters. Go check them out, Whitehall, Michigan. Again, we're not associated with them or Crescent. We just tested them out. I had already tested the RVR. I was like, pretty much dig this Shoalie thing. Let's do it. And we picked them up. What are we going to do to them? Well, we needed a method of transportation, and we didn't want to mount boondocks to them like we had our Hobies. So we're going to have another fun video for you guys. Oh my gosh, look at this, all these videos coming from these kayaks. Cheap versus expensive wheels. And we have similar, we basically based it off of the new Yak Attack Stow and Go, the one with the kickstands. It's $180, right? So Paul picked that one up. I picked up a knockoff of a Wilderness Systems wheel setup that's available on Amazon. It was $80. Because it was 20% off. No base price $100, right? So I picked that up. See how that goes. We're gonna put them side by side, do the same test with them, see what we think about it, right? So we got that. We need an anchor. We're going on the river. So Anchor Wizard. I mean, I have loved my Anchor Wizard since day one. It is, of all the things in my Hobie, one of the things that breaks down the least. Unfortunately,
yours broken.
What, the Anchor Wizard?
Yeah.
No, by least I mean 0 times.
Oh, okay. I was like,
It's a
happened to your
tension
anchor
system.
wizard?
So like if you just spin it too far the wrong way, you got to go all the way back until it works again. So there's one time where I was like, what is going on? I couldn't get it to like tighten down. So that was an issue. But most of the time, no issues. Big fan. So we're going to add that. We had to get an external bracket for it. And then we obviously had to. If you get this, there's like a small size anchor wizard, I think, that can fit in the cup holder.
You have to drill if you do the flush mount. So if you want to put it,
I don't want to drill the hole anyways.
I know.
So I'm happy with
that's how you get it done.
It's weird. Take a look at it if you haven't taken a look at it. It fits real weird in that cup holder. So I wouldn't have done that anyways. It's kind of funky.
I'm not going to now.
Well, yeah. So we got the bracket for that. We got some new paddles. Water Dog, thank you so much for hooking us up on those. We got the Bending Branches Angler Pro. Was that an overkill paddle? I think so. But it's
Not
my
for me,
method.
no.
It's the method of transportation. You can get by on a lot cheaper paddles than that. I mean, like $150, $200, you'd be very happy with a paddle. You're like $350 or no? You're in the $350 or up category of paddles no matter what.
I don't think
I understand it's valuable because it's your method of transportation, but I don't firmly believe.
I don't think it's overkill.
All right. Well, freaking, I mean, carbon only $1,000 paddles were not on the menu whatsoever.
No,
but
not even close. No.
Yeah. Of course, it is the most important piece. However, I feel like we could have been totally fine in the $150, $200 range. I'm not talking about $60.
I have the one that you're talking about. I have the angler.
The regular angler.
I would all day spend the extra $100.
All right. Fair enough. Not me, but keep chatting, people. Anyways, so we got the paddle. I bought it. I got the thing, you guys. So I can't complain too much because I got the damn thing. And then we were like, let's get a new net because we didn't want we have full size nets on the big rigs. So we went with, they had a bunch of line cutter stuff there. So they had it's like co-branded with some other brand, but it's like
I've been all about this net for a long time. It's been on my list of crap to buy, and they had them there, and I was like, done.
It floats. It's bright green.
It's short handle, floats, and it's a deep net, so you can handle some big fish in it. So it's it's just got all the and it was $20. Like,
so we grabbed that, and that's it so far. The only other thing that's on my list is a crate. Like I can't.
So the crate I wanted to hold off on. So I have made my decision. I'm going to get the medium crate. Only because, and I might even go small.
13 by 13 or 13 by 16?
13 by 16, I think is what.
Okay, you're talking the Black Pack?
Yes, the Black Pack Pro, the medium size. The small one I don't like because it doesn't hold if I wanted something more, it doesn't hold enough. And the weight differential between the small and the medium is nothing. I don't want the 16 by 16. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put 2 rod holders on either side. And that's all I need is 4. That's for what I want. Perfect. So yeah, because that's why you get the light tackle too. So, and this is totally like the type of fisherman that you are. So it makes sense. Like we were talking on the ride up, and it's like it makes sense for you to go that route, and it makes sense for me to go like maybe Monster. Titan X or something else. Yeah, the Monster rig. So I'll probably end up with the 16 by 16 Black Pack Pro, and there's no shame. It's not like a bad answer. Like,
well, I think chat gets it at this point. Like we're not.
Yeah, like
we can get heated about this because I feel my way, you feel your way, but it doesn't matter. But then I'm gonna go 3 and 3 rod holders on that probably.
Yeah. And you can go 3 and 3 on the medium too. So that might be something I just do as an option.
You could always add it. Like when
that's what I'm saying. You just add it if you want. It's not the end of the world. So
we like this idea, you guys, because with the Hobies, like the H crate, we permanently like buckle them down essentially for the season. I've never taken my H crate off of my boat ever.
Yeah.
The Black Pack, I like the idea because it's a little bit easier to like set it in and out, and we can use it between boats.
I will only have 1 crate probably.
Yeah. Same. If I buy the 16 by 16, that's all I'm using, and it's going to go in this boat and then whatever the other boat is, right?
Yep.
So
and then
I'm good with that.
So we both bought Shoalies. I bought a Crescent Light Tackle 2. That Light Tackle 2 will be my mainstay. I may not ever, other than this tournament, get back in my Hobie 360.
It's getting sold.
I'm gonna put electronics on the Light Tackle. It's gonna be. I'm gonna downsize. I'm gonna downsize my battery, and I might even I don't know if I'm gonna downgrade the screen, but I think I'm done with Forward facing. I think I'm just getting rid of it.
You're going to sell the Panoptics unit?
Yeah,
so
or not. I don't care. I just might not ever use it again. Like I don't. Maybe I'll buy another screen later, like a smaller screen. Like maybe I go to an 8-inch, but I think the 10-inch screen doesn't weigh like so much that it's a problem.
We have 12s.
There you go, 12. I thought we had 10.
It's a 12. No, it's a 12.
10, so either way, I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem mounting that in that boat. The difference will be I will downsize the battery big time because I only need to run the head unit and the transducer. So not having a whole separate transducer system is super important.
To Burly, that's a funny joke. That's a funny chat. If we were making any money on that at all, I'd say maybe.
But no.
But we're not.
Yeah, you know what it can be? And the way that you win is by paying me $5,000. Then you can and you
too.
It's all yours.
We'll sign it. We'll put Sharpie on the back of it.
So and all the other feathers. If you want
make an offer, buddy,
set up, just hit me up on Instagram.
Shoot your shot on IG.
Yeah, and I'll give you a deal. I'll give you a deal.
And if anybody does seriously want Paul's Hobie, he is for sure selling. This is not a question. It's getting gone.
No, it's getting sold. I'm posting it very soon. Very soon.
If you guys want any, like, if you want the link or whatever, just message Paul directly if you're interested, and you got to come up to Michigan and grab it. But we'll hang out and fish if you guys want to. Yeah. So I mean, we'll get rid of it. It does have a broken drive, so you still have the issue of having to get a drive for it.
I'm probably, depending on the price, I'm probably just going to buy a new drive for whoever buys the boat, and I'm just going to factor that into the price of the kayak, and I'm just going to ship you a brand new drive. So that was my plan the whole time. But I'm getting rid of that boat. So for me, I do want electronics. I need to know depth, water temp, and all that stuff. And I already have a super nice screen that I'm really enjoying. I don't think I need the forward-facing sonar. I don't need the battery. I will probably get a Dakota lithium all-in-one that I can just move from, wherever I want to move it from. So I'll probably get a power bank. That's more than enough for 1 or 2 days on the water, and that's all I need. So
10 amp hour. What is that one?
No, they're much
the one that you can plug into the top, or what are you talking about?
The one that comes in a box, a waterproof box of its own.
Isn't that 10 amp hours, or do they have bigger ones?
I think they have a 20.
I don't remember.
And regardless, more than enough for what I need to run my electronics just without all the extras. So that's probably what I'm going to do. And that will probably be it. Now, next season, what I am going to do, just because it's something that Jeff and I have been talking about, I'm very likely going to put an electronic motor on that kayak.
Yeah.
So I would put either a Torqeedo or a Newport on the back. And that's just for us to try and learn, get an understanding, and see how the darn thing is going to work.
Yeah, totally. Cooler lid AP120. I still think two different. I think you're talking about like the RVR and the Shoaly. It's not off the table, man. Like these aren't the only kayaks that we're getting. So this is just the opportunity that was dealt to us, and being that there's been 0 kayak opportunities for us in the entirety of this channel, we took advantage of it. All right, that's what that was. There will be. I mean, we still also do the demo videos. So we did DNR Sports, hung out with them for a day, got to test a whole bunch. We're still planning to do a lot more demos too. So don't worry. There'll be a lot more this versus that direct comparison videos that will come down. So no worries. I got some Newports. Oh, not that kind of Newports.
The other thing too, kayak-wise is depending on how next year shakes out, we may end up with a different Old Town boat, like a big water. And in that case, that might also change some things for us too, because I wouldn't hate having a pedal boat sitting in storage that I could break out like on Lake St. Clair, or even having a different paddle only boat and having one, like I think the Crescent, the Light Tackle 2 is such a good motor boat because it doesn't weigh much, but it's designed to go fast and it's really simplistic. So like when you add the Torqeedo onto it, you didn't like kill yourself. It's still super light. Like there's just not a lot of weight added, and it's still a monster boat. So I really like that. I would probably even be down to just have a different pedal boat.
Yeah. Also, B Dooley brings up a great point. Have you seen a couple of people that posted this? Kayak DIY posted about it. There's a very cheap, under $100 attachment that you can put on any trolling motor and make it an autopilot.
Oh, that's cool.
You haven't seen that?
Oh.
Oh, it's straight up just an attachment. It's an aftermarket piece you can add to any trolling motor. So however you rig it on your boat, you do the bow mount, you do the stern mount, you do, the through hull right in the middle. Some brands have or there's ways that you can rig that, and you can just make it an iPilot or autopilot. It's pretty crazy.
That's cool.
Yeah. So then you control it on your phone or with, I think it might come with a remote. I didn't.
But like Motor Guide has always had a remote control. I mean, all of them have a remote control.
Yeah, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like spot lock GPS control.
Technology for like Minn Kota technology?
Well, it just pairs with them. It's universal.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Anyways, look at the video. It exists. I didn't make it. I don't know anything about it, you guys. I just watched a few videos real quick. I looked at some of the aftermarket autopilots and it was $650. How much is in autopilot, you guys? A frig ton. A lot of money. A lot more than that. So that's pretty dang cheap, I would say.
Yeah.
Everyone said it was cheap. That is cheap, man. For an autopilot. That's what I'm talking about.
But that's only to give you autopilot technology. That's not for anything else.
Yeah, but you can buy a super cheap trolling motor, attach it to it. I'm
assuming it has to be an electronic trolling motor. It can't be a tiller troll.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm talking about. Like a XI3 or whatever, or a motor guide.
It's got to be one of those.
Yeah.
$1,200. I can see why someone would want that. I don't think it's for me.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, because like I'm out for now for at least one season next year. I'm out on the big boat. The furthest I would go, just for the gram, so to speak, would be to try a motor. I would for sure try an electric motor. That was dope. That boat was so light and maneuverable. I'm down. But man, I think I'm out for at least a season on the big boat. Every time I've cut something out of my kayak in the last 6 months, including just not having a kayak, I have like been happier and more efficient fishing. So it just works for me better. So I'm pretty much the biggest boat that I would consider at this point is the absolute biggest would be the big water PDL. That would be on the big side. I would rather have probably the 10-foot PDL over the 12. I would go that 10-foot PDL is probably the biggest kayak. Old Town would be the biggest one I would go for right now.
I will probably never own a 10-foot kayak. Not gonna happen. But yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of motor options out there for sure. And we'll look into them. We'll see what we can do. Let's roll out with the slow rolling thunder. Let's get this draw going, shall we? Everybody's been chatting. You guys are so good at this. So this first question came from last week. You want to read it?
No, I want to read the second one. Let's just do the second one. Let's just do the second one. And Chaz, roll the giveaway now. Everyone is chatted. So Chaz, roll the giveaway. While he's going to say who it is, and then while we're waiting for the response, we'll do the question.
Matt Main, you have won. Here's the next step, though. You may have won. You still have to be A. He said, "Yeah." I didn't even finish my spiel.
You guys are awesome.
That's record,
Matt.
Record, Matt. Follow the instructions on the screen, bro, and we'll send you that.
He's a member. What a bro! I love it when the members win.
Hey, remember was it last week? What
happened?
Oh, Andy Ramey and Matt Main, coworkers. Nice,
fantastic.
Remember last week we had what is the whitest white girl thing you do?
Yeah.
I have here a fake Stanley.
You went with the big
cup. 40 ounces of hydration. Let's go. I can drink this 3 times a day. That's 120 ounces a gallon.
I have
winning. Yeah, you have 48 Yetis. Same thing. White girl stuff. Real white girl stuff. All right, let's do the second question.
Do you play the lottery?
No.
What? You don't play the lottery, Jeff?
Nope, never have, actually.
But why?
Because it's a waste of money.
What? What if you win?
Oh, no. Nope. Jeff, I'd rather just donate straight to a good cause. So don't be like, but they give back.
Jeff, like, I don't give
a heck. I will donate directly to that school instead. I don't gamble. I've never been to Vegas. I do not go into casinos. One time I was accidentally at a casino because it was the only place with food open at 11 p.m. at night when I got to Canada. So that was it. But yeah, I don't do that. So my mom works for Edward Jones, and she's like my financial advisor there.
Yes.
Not her, but like the financial advisor will send like a birthday card every year. Yeah. And they used to, up until this year. This is the first year they didn't do it. They used to send me scratchers. And that was the only time I played scratchers. And I was like, it's not instilling a lot of faith in my financial advisor. He's like, I don't know, maybe you should play the lottery. Could be bad. That's probably a bad sign, you guys.
I cannot condone playing the lottery under any circumstances, regardless of how high it is. I like that people play. I think that's great for you. I like that people win. I like that money goes to schools. That's wonderful. I like that when people buy their tickets, they enjoy thinking about what they would do if they would win.
Sure.
They enjoy fantasizing about boats and hoes. That's great. I fantasize about what I'm going to buy with my $10 that
Prestige
I didn't spend. And I've only bought 2 lottery tickets, and it was because I was placating my wife.
Yeah.
And that was like a decade ago. And that's it. I once made a spreadsheet. So for the lady who sat next to me, who was like my work mom, nicest lady in the world, she played scratch offs, the lotto, played Keno, anything that you can play, and
Keno
she loved
drives
it.
Me nuts.
She enjoyed it. So you know what I did? I made her a spreadsheet, and I just said, just type in what you spend, and then type in what you win. And if you just do that for 6 months, let's see how this worked out for you.
Yep.
She did that for 6 months, and it was easy because she's always about the same thing. So she spent the same amount every day. Every single day was spent the same amount. She had spent well over $10,000. She had only won like 1,500. And I was like, person,
oh my God,
come on now. I was like, I didn't do anything. All I did was just show you what you spent and show you what you won.
Did she melt? Did she literally melt in front of you?
She stopped playing everything except for the big lotto, the big ticket lotto.
Oh my God.
And she stayed in the work pool. They had like a pool going, which I kind of like the pool idea. I never did it, but I like that more than
that's 4 kayaks. You literally just burned in front of your face.
It was well over 10,000.
That's our boats. That's our boats literally flushed down a toilet.
6 months.
Wow.
Donated to a school.
Just donate directly though, so nobody else gets a piece. Yeah, did you see Burly's membership? Paul, your teammate. Did you read it? I gotta go way back up because it was before the chat.
Too far.
Oh no. All right. Well, anyways, what DeBurly had said, because I paid attention, was that's exactly the conundrum that he's in right now. He's trying to figure out if he needs to go with the big rig or the small rig. He's like, do I, purposely go for that ultralight setup, or do I go big? So what would your advice be to your teammate?
So, well, this would be the same advice I would give anybody, and that's one, know your budget. That's going to actually dictate almost all of this. 2, assuming you can make the choice, how do you fish? This is something that you and I, this is how we've gotten where we've gotten, is how do you like to fish? Jeff talked about loves to stand up. That's a big one. Doesn't want to give it up. Jeff talked about, I like a little more of a kitchen sink kind of guy. I like having 6 or 8 rods. I like having a little more tackle. I like having the options. And then also talked about loving to have the electronics. That's a big win for him. Like, those 3 things alone put Jeff in the big rig category.
The one-person bass boat made of plastic.
Yeah, and that's not, again, this is not like bad or good. It's just like, that's how Jeff likes to fish, and it fit within his budget. So like, those 2 things to me, that's going to dictate. For me, could I afford a giant boat? Sure. Like if I wanted to, yes. I have found, especially being pushed into the paddle only category, that I love it. I enjoy it more. I actually am having more fun doing it this way. I enjoy having less tackle options personally. Like I feel like I'm more focused. I make decisions faster, and I don't second guess myself. And only having 3 or 4 rigs is actually better for me. I find that I'm tying less knots. I find that I'm pre-rigging is not like such a big deal for me, and I don't have like 6 to decide between a swim bait and a Ned rig and a drop shot. It's like, no, I only have 3 rigs. Like, this is what I'm gonna do. So for me, it's better, and I like the fact that it costs less, but it's not a huge deal. So it's just become how I like to fish. So I'm
Yep.
more excited. That's not the right answer. It's the right answer for me. So I would say budget number 1, but really it's how do you like to fish? And it's the confluence of those 2 things. I think it's as simple as that.
Yep. No, 100%. So, fish what works for you and don't let anybody else tell you you're silly. You show up with your ultralight rig at a tournament, go destroy them like Paul says he's going to. If you
I never said I would win, but that's what I would show up with. That's what I would show up with.
I fully believe it with your brass cojones. If you're fishing the big rig, don't let them be like, bro, you just buy a bass boat. Like, do what you want to do. You don't like Paul's point. You don't like people. Great. Get your one man vessel. I love that so much. That's what I'm going with, man. I don't want to take my kids out on the water.
I don't want to be with you. You're annoying. You give me anxiety.
So Chaz, you got John Kilborn there. Members only. Next members only we got was
it's on there. It's September 12th, I think it was. The 12th of September will be our next members only.
So he's asking how to join. He's on mobile, so I think it's different on mobile. I don't really remember.
Use the internet.
Thank you, Chaz. Chaz will tell you.
You don't have to be on mobile. You can
join from mobile. The point is, we do a private members only live for our members. So if you want to join up, you can click join below if you're on desktop or some other way on mobile. Because I don't know. Chaz is going to figure it out. He's going to type it in a second.
Go into youtube.com, the actual internet, and then do it that way. And don't go to
open it in the browser on your phone. Thank you.
That's what I was saying.
Yes.
Also,
do that. There's a join button.
Also, I will say, if you were on the last members only, you got some behind the scenes information on what we're planning for next year.
And a lot of giveaways.
And part of that whole strategy, one of the big results is, one, we did 3 gigantic giveaways. I sent them all out, so they're coming your way. If they're not already there, they should be there soon. We did some big giveaways. We're going to probably have, likely, most of, or if not all of the giveaways are going to migrate to the members only. Like a huge portion of them are going to. And I think that's going to kind of be like the way of the future. There's a lot of stuff coming. You would know more if you were there. But I think the wave of the future is going to be that a lot, or the vast majority of like the giant giveaways, we're just going to do on the members only.
Yeah, we'll still do stuff on this live. Obviously, podcasts are realistic to do giveaways.
Sure.
Actual videos is almost impossible. Instagram is impossible. Basically,
totally not going to do it ever. That's for you. I'm saving you.
Yeah. There's scammers everywhere. I could do a giveaway. We used to do them a lot. And then all these bots started scamming everybody. So we just stopped doing it. I want to give you guys everything I own. All right. I love you guys. You guys are great. You're the best nerds on the planet. All right. So that's all we got. So like we said, September 12th, that Tuesday, we'll be coming up with a members only live. Click join if you want to find out more about that and what that's like. We did some videos. Friday, kayak time, baby. We reviewed 4 different kayaks from Crescent, so you can see what that's like. Oh, John Kilborn did it.
He figured it out.
Welcome to the Burly Bunch Elite, my brother. Fantastic. And hopefully we'll see you on that members only live, and you'll see some new members only content that I think Paul's going to edit. I'm not sure. We haven't figured it out yet. It's fine. I'm changing that rule. Everybody's invited if you remember. I love you guys. Giveaways might be a little different. The members only video that we have coming up is the ultralight. So we have our demo ultralight, not the real deal. Like, it might change a little bit more in production, but we have a pre-production demo rod. So we went and we fished it, did a little video, talked about that. We're going to post that for our members, and we did like 4 or 5 members only vids last month as well. So we want to take care of you guys. We really appreciate you are supporting the channel a ton, more than you know, and we love you guys. I won't say any more of that. So that's all we got for tonight. Anything else you want to add? Oh,
yeah, Zach Rice just joined the Elite too.
Welcome. Freaking nerds coming out. Let's go. Let's go. Appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. Finally figured it out on my mobile. Nice.
Fair enough.
Awesome. All right. We will be back next Wednesday, right? Like, you're not doing early Labor Day stuff next week? Just making sure.
Friday, so you're safe.
Okay, cool. We're safe. Chaz, Antarctica?
Chaz being in Antarctica.
Oh, you're a southern penguin. I got it. That's a little different. So we'll be back next Wednesday. We love you guys. Thank you so much, nerds, for supporting the show. And Chaz, check us out.
Took a swing at a wrecking ball and I prayed for my downfall, and I found a way to reconcile, 'cause in my heart it's not worthwhile. It's a bloody battlefield where some go down, others heal. In the end it's all the same. All you can do is play the game. Oh, do we say goodbye? Refuse to question why. I'm sad to say I'm sorry, so lie. Pretend that you're okay. Swear that you will stay. Keep trying for one day. I'm sick of all these lies. Don't care if I capsize. There's nothing left for me to hide. Don't wanna live a lie. Too many lows, too many highs. Too many things to criticize. And so I leave it all behind. Don't wanna live a lie. Life kept spitting at my feet and forced me down a dead-end street, when all I had went up in flames, burning only dark remains. I cover up every part of my skin, oh, 'cause I don't like the person within.